On concept 18, we're dividing polynomials. So here's the first one. Let's go ahead and set this up. We're dividing by x minus 2. So here we need to start with x to the 4th. X times x cubed would give me x to the 4th. These two multiplied together would give me negative 2x cubed. However, we want positive 2x cubed, so we need to add a term to change this to a positive 2x cubed. So 4x cubed minus 2x cubed would give me 2x cubed, which would make this a 4x squared. Multiplying these gives negative 8x squared, but we want positive 1x squared, so we can put a 9x squared here, which makes this a 9x, which makes this a negative 18x. We want a negative 8x instead of negative 18, so we can add positive 10x, which makes this 10, and negative 20. Now we ended up here getting a negative 20, but we want a positive 2. So that's a sign that we have a remainder. When we divide these, they do not divide evenly. So we get x cubed plus 4x squared plus 9x plus 10. To determine the remainder, we're basically trying to figure out, well, what number would we have to add to negative 20 to get positive 2? We would have to add a 22 to be able to get positive 2, so that's our remainder. So plus 22 over the original denominator, which is x minus 2. On number 7, we're using the graph that's provided to write this equation in factored form, which we're going to do right here, and also to identify what the roots of the polynomial is, or are. So we have a degree of 4, so we're going to have 4 roots. We know, based on the information given in the graph passes through 1, 0, and negative 3, 0. So we already know 2 of our roots. The corresponding factors for x equals 1, the factor would be x minus 1. X minus 3, or x plus 3, would be the factor that corresponds with x equals negative 3. And we need to figure out what the rest of the factors and roots are. In order to do that, we need to divide this polynomial by the factors that we do know. So let's go ahead and divide first by x minus 1, or you could choose to divide by x plus 3 first. It doesn't matter what order you do it in. Okay, so first dividing by x minus 1, this is x cubed. Okay, we get negative x cubed, which we already have. So I'm going to move on to the next term, negative 13x squared. So that becomes negative 13x. This becomes positive 13x. And we need to have a positive 1x, not a positive 13x. So I'm going to subtract 12x to make that happen. That will make this a negative 12. That makes this a positive 12. X minus 1 divided evenly into our polynomial, which is what we should expect since it's a factor. Now, the resulting polynomial we can now divide by the other factor that's provided to determine what the remaining factors are. So divide x plus 3 into the result that we got here, x cubed minus 13x minus 12. That's an x squared. We don't want any x squared, so I'm going to balance this out with a negative 3x squared. So this is negative 3x. That would make this negative 9x. We want negative 13, so that's a negative 4, which makes this negative 4, negative 12. So this polynomial divided by x plus 3 also works out evenly and gives us x squared minus 3x minus 4. We're now at a point where we can figure out what the other factors are. If we factor this, we get negative 4 and positive 1, which is x minus 4 times x plus 1. These are our other two factors, x minus 4 times x plus 1. Those other two factors now, we can figure out the other two roots. So x minus 4 equals 0 gives us a root at positive 4, and x plus 1 equals 0 gives us a root at negative 1.